Oh, hello,
We're
hello.
here.
Welcome in, everybody.
We made
Good to
it.
see you all.
Hitting the
Wow,
live button.
we're here. Yep, yep. Laughing too.
So, listen, come on in here. Come in the
Come
room.
on in. Got something to tell you.
Let's talk tonight. We're dealing this week about jungle fever.
Yep.
And I know some of them are thinking, what in the world? Hey, what? Yes, jungle fever. We're going to deal with this week.
Somebody got to talk about it.
And not only are we going to talk about it, but we're also going to have some guests that's going to come, and we're going to kind of interview them a little bit, because people need to hear first-hand information. See, we can tell you about jungle fever,
but until you
have to deal with it on a everyday, regular, semi-basis.
Shop My Beautiful Fluff is joining us on IG. Hello.
Hey there. Thank you.
My beautiful
Fluff. Yeah, it was right. It was just funny when you said it. I was like, wait, did you say that right?
I said that.
You did. You said it right. So, guys, we're in here tonight. We want you all to come on in, invite someone, share the broadcast. We are dealing with interracial dating and marriage tonight, y'all. Actually, we're going to be dealing with this all this week. Y'all know that I'm Pastor Michelle. This is Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We're veterans of the United States Air Force, and your go-to couple for all things relationship. Yeah. So tonight is going to be our first night. We're here them 3 days, and so we're going to talk now. Thursday, them three fingers. On Thursday, we are going to have an interracial couple that are married. Matter of fact, I just got off of their live broadcast because they are celebrating today 1 year of marital bliss. Yes, marital bliss. They are celebrating.
Oh man, if you're going to be married, you need to be blissful with it. That's why we're here. We are Pastors Greg and Michelle of MarriageMakes3.com. We are Air Force veterans. We are happily married to each other for 13, going on 14 years. We are authors. We are pastors. And we are your go-to couple for all things relationship. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Tuesday evening.
It is Tuesday. We had prayer today. And for those of you that don't know, every Tuesday at noon-ish, we're at the tribe and we are praying. We are making sure that we are taking our petitions before the Lord. There's some of you in here that you are looking for a mate. You would like a husband, a wife. And so please don't forget, over at the link in the bio, bit.ly/MM3links, there's stuff there for those of you that are married. There's stuff there for those of you that are single. But specifically for those that are praying for a mate, we want you to know that you can go and download the prayer and you get to hear me. You get to hear me praying it. And so you have it in print, so you can sit down, you can go before the Lord for yourself, and you can make your petition. Come on. He said we have not because we ask not.
Where 2 or 3 gather and ask in my name,
that part.
I'm there
in the midst.
Not only there in the midst, but I'm able to grant your petition. Apostle David Navarro is joining us.
How are you, man of God? Thank you for hanging out with us. So we're going to ask that if you're in here tonight and you haven't shared the broadcast, that you share, invite your followers, and let's talk. If you're in here tonight, tell us where you are hailing from. We are in the beautiful state of Mississippi, here in Stark Vegas. Yes, that's right. Stark Vegas, where everything that is said and done somewhere else. Nothing here stays here. It's all over the planet. Before you can finish doing it, somebody has the story. Someone has the 911, the 411. And so find us here every Tuesday through Thursday. We pastor, and so we're at Tribe Judah Ministries. For those of you that are local, you can come and be a part of the ministry. I think you'll love it. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Matter of fact, we're looking for some worship leaders. We're looking for some ushers. We're looking for some youth workers. We're looking for a musician. So if you know any of those people that they're saved and sanctified, show up.
Come on.
Okay. We don't want and if you play in the blues on Saturday at the club, then you want to come in on Sunday and play. No, ma'am, sir. Time out. That ain't what we doing.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
However, if you believe God, you love the Lord, you want to minister, and no one's giving you an opportunity, please, ma'am, please, sir, come and let's sit down and let's reason together. How about that?
Apostle David sends greetings from Homestead, Florida.
Hey there. The Lord bless you.
Hello.
We've got some people from Florida.
Used to be an Air Force base down there.
Well, we got people
Homestead.
there now.
Absolutely.
In Florida.
Jackson.
And I can't remember where our other daughter is from. I don't remember, but anyway, it's in Florida.
It's in South Florida.
It's in Florida, right?
Yeah.
There's Deidre. I'm from bright, sunny in Coronaville because
people don't have no sense here. Apostle David,
yes,
he
I got it.
Exception.
I got it. I hear
we
you.
understand.
Amen. So
now you know what goes on in her part of Florida.
It don't stay there.
We're gonna hear the truth.
What it is.
I love that, Deidre. My post this week was: if you know somebody who will tell you the straight truth, no chasers, they're gonna tell you like it is. Send them an eye. Send them this post and a set of eyes.
That's right.
Because you appreciate those kinds of people.
Amen.
That be straight with them.
Oh yeah. I love it. When we're straight with people, then we know what we're going to get. And some of us, the problem is that we won't tell all of the truth. We want to hold back. We want to keep stuff stifled down because it may not be proper. Well, listen, nothing ever happens when everybody's proper. Yeah. Everything stays the same. The status quo stays the same. Nothing. And so we have to do some things differently. I will not be silent. Period.
Come on.
Period.
Truth will challenge your comfort.
They said
if you're in the comfort zone, you're not going to grow very much.
Right. So, they told me that I can't say period unless I do this. So I got to do it. Period.
That's it.
Period.
No more.
So here we are tonight. Don't forget, share the broadcast. Tell us where you are hailing us from tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're missing some of you guys. I know we were out last week.
Where y'all at?
We did go live, not you and I together, but we did go live. I mean, we were having a blast there in Tennessee. Everything was wonderful. The weather was nice. We really had a good time. We had a good time.
I heard that. I heard that from more than one. So that's biblical. 2 or 3 witnesses.
Yes.
That's scripture.
Amen. Right. All right. So tonight, as we're going in, we want to say some words. Okay. And I know that when we talk about jungle fever, people are probably like, what is they talking about? Well, interracial dating and marriage. How are we? What are we thinking about when we're dealing with this situation, with this circumstance? And I remember a couple years ago, we had Pastor Rock. He is from Uganda. Right. And Pastor Rock is the gentleman that you all saw come and preach at Tribe Judah Ministries. And he is also the founder of the Child Development Embassy, in which we are ambassadors and we're able to do some things, help them out financially every single month. We've got 12 of them sponsored. Hey, I sent candles. And the thing that he was telling us, we were talking about marriage, not so much interracial, but what we're talking about culturally, that there are some differences when it comes to marriage and relationships. And in that country, in Uganda, they still have bride prices.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, when Pastor Edwin got married,
absolutely,
there was a bride price. You know, you were worth a woman. And not saying that we're buying the woman, but what is this person worth to their family that now you are pulling from their family and now they are in your home and they don't have, the sister, the cousin, the auntie to help with things at that house. And so what is the bride price? And so that's a cultural thing. Now, we talked a few years ago about race, religion, and relationship. Yes. And it was an amazing broadcast. Listen, y'all, if you are dealing with anything when it comes to your race, your religion, and your relationship, and you're trying to intertwine all of those things together, go over and find it. It's on our site at marriagemakes3.com. You can get it there. We break that whole thing down so that you know whenever they come at you, you know how to answer them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this week on Thursday, we want to invite all of our family to come so that you all be able to hang out with us when we interview Terry and Melissa Little.
Wow.
Interracial couple.
Come on.
They've been married for 1 year today. And so on Thursday, we've got some questions we're going to ask them. And if you know anyone that's dealing with an interracial couple or interracial issues, wanting to know, well, what is it really like? What can I expect and things of that nature? We want you to come and be a part and invite some people that you know that are going to be interested in. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I really, really do.
I really do.
All right. So tonight, Jungle Fever. First of all, when we say words like mixed race, bicultural, interracial, multiracial, right? What are we talking about? Who are these? Not human beings? Are these not people? When we talk about, let's see, racially balanced or racially mixed. Hey, John, thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. We've heard people called hybrids. I'm like a hybrid. This sounds like one of those little compact cars. Yes. Or maybe you took one kind of fruit and another kind of fruit and you put them together. And so you made a whole separate third type of fruit. When that's not really what a hybrid is. When we're talking about people, people are people.
Yeah.
And I cannot stand it. Racism, we've been dealing with all the Black Lives Matter. We've been dealing with people looking for mates, especially in the business that we have. They're looking for mates, but everybody is in these parameters. They got blinders on. It's like, I have to marry a man. Well, and we're good with that. We are Christian pastors. I have to marry a man. He has to have some money. He has to have a home. But most importantly, and it's not even said, he has to be Black. If you're Black, he has to be Black. But, for other people, I haven't found that has been the same type of thing. Now, when we're dealing with this, we used to hear some derogatory terms about people that are of mixed heritage.
True.
We would call them mulattoes, which I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? I feel like that is so... it makes me think of a mutt when we're talking about two different breeds of dog come together to make a third. We've got a mutt, quote unquote, but she's a dog. And so it was still a dog with another dog. Wow. Right? Am I right about this? It was a dog with another dog. Amen. Hey, Mary, how are you, darling? She says, for me, I don't like the phrase jungle fever or anything that fetishizes a relationship. It debases the whole beautiful idea of a relationship into a physical or lustful thing. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for your input. Mary just got engaged, as a matter of fact, as well. Congratulations, darling. Mary. And so when we hear things like jungle fever, when we hear things like someone of a mixed race, quote unquote, as a mulatto, or it was another word that they used to call people that were of more than one culture. It just escaped my mind. But it was I'm like, how do you talk about people? He said quadroons and octoroons, mulatto. Wow. I've never heard of quadroons and octoroons, but absolutely. Mulatto, they mixed, and I don't mind mix. Mix is great for me, but there's another word that always seemed so derogatory, and I thought, how dare you talk about another human being in such terms? In that context. Exactly. Hey, Ben, how are you? Thank you all for joining. Hello. So as we're talking about this week, and Mary, please forgive us, it is nothing that we are saying derogatorily, but we just needed to deal with this. We wanted to talk about this. And so we understand that a lot of people know or heard the phrase jungle fever.
And they use the term sometimes ignorantly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is what it is. It's meant derogatorily. Yep. It is meant to be a slap in the face.
Yes.
But other time it is used ignorantly by a person who really doesn't fully understand. The implications.
That's it. That part. And so when we were dealing with this, hey, there's our friend. Ciara Octoroons referenced women that were 1/8 Black in the South. What?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I've never heard that term. Thank you so much. Hey, daughter, love you. Good to see you. All right. So when we talk, I went to the Urban Dictionary. First of all, the regular connotation for jungle fever is actually has something to do with a tropical disease. You know, because people are out and they're in the quote unquote jungle. And so they may end up with malaria, which is something that our friends in Uganda still deal with. And so that was called some sort of jungle fever. You got sick, you didn't know what was going on, you had fever, you may have been throwing up and those types of things. So they knew that this was called jungle fever. Maybe you're not from there, or you've absolutely gotten into something that made you sick on the inside, right?
Now, jungle rot might refer to something a soldier would pick up in their in respect to their boots, where their feet are continually wet, and so the feet are infected, jungle rot, or even in cases where a jock itch might turn into a jungle rot. Simply because the soldiers are not able to bathe regularly,
and
not
keep
able
things
to
dry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Key.
So jungle fever in the original terminology did have to do with actual sickness, fever, because you all know anytime something goes wrong in our body has a fever, so it can go and fight off whatever it is that invaded the body. So here in the Urban Dictionary, though, when you look up jungle fever, what it says is this, and I love what Mary said. This was something that they called, it was more of a slang and an ethnic slur, and what they said was it's an attraction of a person of non-African descent towards people of African descent. And so pretty much, and anytime we seen it, it was always white and black. Always white and black, right? Let's see, Deirdre says, Pastor G was reading my mind. I was thinking about jungle rot. I watch a lot of Naked and Afraid. Yes. And we do absolutely see that on that show. You're absolutely right. Mary says, I get it. I know you were using it as a description for the Facebook Live. Yes, ma'am. I'm just saying, when you're in a relationship with someone who is black, for instance, some people think you're in it for the physical thing. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're talking about.
Thank you, Mary, for sharing that. That's really key to understanding this, the impact on another person, that they're only in it because for the black.
Exactly. And we've seen, I mean, we're going to be talking about this, for the rest of this week, but one thing that I remember, what thing that just really bothers me, and I don't know, because it doesn't, when I say it bothers me, is because it never bothered me. Okay, when they say things like, when a black man gets a certain prestigious position or they make a certain amount of money, for some reason now they don't want black chicks. Like, oh, it's a status thing that now I have arrived, and so now I am going to seek out a white woman. And I've never ever thought, like, oh my God, could that really possibly be so? And I know for some people, who knows, maybe it is. I don't know those people though. I do know that there are people that we have encountered that are black, one is white, they come together, it's love, it's a beautiful thing. And there's still people today that get so mad when they find out that and if it's a black man with a white woman, they are ready to blow their stack. And I'm like, what is the problem here? Find yourself someone that you can love and that loves you, and then you won't have to deal with it. Tokenization. Come on. Thank you. Amen. Let's see. Ciara said it was applied to both men and women. However, when I first heard the term, it was women, because Ja was saying he only heard it applied to women. So it was in 1991. Y'all remember Spike Lee, right?
Yeah, I never heard it applied only to women. Ja said. Yeah, and absolutely. Initially, but it has become has grown to the point where it's inclusive of both. But again, here in a negative connotation.
Exactly.
Because I'm uncomfortable with it. then I've got to stigmatize it. I've got to put some sort of stink on it to say that I'm uncomfortable with it or I don't like it.
And if you don't like it, well, then fine. You don't have to participate in it. But there's a young woman, my daughter's best friend of all. And I remember seeing her post a picture of her and her husband. Beautiful picture. I mean, amazing. You're like, what? And she was saying that her and her husband, they do a lot of running. And so while they were out running, somebody from across the road was making derogatory comments against them because one of them is Black and one of them is white. And I'm like, why does something bother you so much so that you get outside of yourself to say something to someone across the street? They're not bothering you. They're not in your way. They're not taking anything from you. You don't have to make you don't have to make sure that they have food or rent paid or lights or any of that. But yet you're so upset. You're so angry about this. Yeah. And so when I first encountered this jungle fever was during the time when the movie came out. And Spike Lee. Yeah, the Spike Lee joint. Y'all know about them Spike Lee joints, right? So it was in 1991 and 91, 93, 95, 97. I know those numbers well because those are when my children were born. And so here it is in June of 1991, a Spike Lee joint came out and it was called Jungle Fever. And what's his name? Wesley Snipes played the lead actor, the guy. And Annabella Sciorra played the female opposite part. Okay, so she was the love interest. So I just wrote it down so I didn't mess it up because I know the story, but it was been so long ago I don't remember
the names.
So it was the movie entitled Jungle Fever. As a married Black lawyer, his name was Flipper. First of all, what black man's mama named him Flipper? Okay, that was we already know. What, babe? What you gonna say?
Than lightning. After a 60s TV show.
Okay, so here it is. You think that's what? It's very possible.
A dolphin.
But whoever it was, Spike, he came up with the name. It might have had something to do with that. Who knows? But his name was Flipper, and he begins an affair with Angie, his white secretary. Okay, we already got a problem. Okay, you are with your secretary. Secretaries, y'all know we talked about this. We talked about man-eating women, and some of them absolutely are secretaries. Some of them actually do work where your gentlemen, your husband, your brothers, your cousins, where they work. And so you have to be careful, regardless of where you are, to protect your heart, because at all times relationships are getting messed up because of some sort of attraction. And usually, and we found out, because I want to say this to some of our ladies, because some people think that men cheat because they don't love their wives. Good. Okay. And that is the furthest thing from the truth for the most part. Men cheat because of opportunity. They think they might not get caught. And so, hey, I can go ahead and do it. They're not looking to leave their wife. They're not looking to make a life with you. They just simply know that this is an opportunity that I may not ever have again. I'm going to just jump into it, do what I want to do. And I can still, it's having your cake and eating your cake at the same time. Right? So when we're dealing with this is what is going on. He's with his white secretary. When the news is leaked through an acquaintance, his wife, Lynette McKee, kicks him out of the house. Wow. And so now Flipper decides to begin courting his mistress, Hasty Pineapples, only to be greeted by disapproval. Okay, disapproval by friends. And listen, it wasn't because he was stepping out on his wife.
Wow.
Okay.
Because she was. It was
because she was the wrong color.
Wow.
Okay. I feel like there was, people would be upset. Well, this is your wife, blah blah blah. But the most important part of it was that they were mad because they're stepping out with a white woman. If it was a black woman, they would have been mad. But because it was a white woman, they were furious. All right. So his friends, his family, even strangers. Okay. So a stranger don't know nothing about that you have a wife or that you're stepping out on her. All they know is that you are with this
somebody
white
who is
woman that don't look like you. Exactly. And so the relationship continues to be strained in society. And he said that society is not ready to accept it. And people are hurt during its inception. And that is so true, because some of these derogatory names that we're even hearing tonight. First time I've ever heard of an octoroon. Octoroon balls were the thing in 1800s for women to meet white men. This was a way for women of lighter skin were able to marry and have freedom. My God. Y'all see this kind of stuff that's been going on all through the ages? And we're just coming, and people that say stuff like, why are y'all worried about this now? You know, where Black Lives Matter. Well, all lives matter. Well, see, that's not actually the case, though, because these things have been happening over and over and over again. Yeah. And we see that there is it's like a line that goes through it's the same same stuff, that same mess, that same junk. And so even when it comes down to a black man, a white man, a black woman, a white woman intermarrying or becoming an interracial couple, even today in 2020, there's still people out here that feel some kind of way when they see an interracial couple. Y'all, so we got work to do.
So there's really no getting away from the racial issue.
Yeah, exactly.
That there is a line of separation. And if you don't see it in your neighborhood, go to your local church.
Right.
Go to your local place of worship. And see what it looks like Sunday on your worship day.
Yep. Absolutely. Mary said, sad what human beings have had to go through. Absolutely correct. And still going through it. And this is what I'm saying. When we talked earlier about the dogs, that they were mongrels. That was the other word. Mongrel.
Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about right now, sir or ma'am? These are human beings. So our dog, we have our dog, his name is Esther. Most of you already know. And Esther is part Chihuahua and part Jack Russell Terrier.
And there's something else in there. Who knows?
Who knows, right?
So those are the two predominant.
Right. And so you can tell that there is a mixing of the breeds because of the fact that her nose is long, her tail is long. She has a kind of a you know that characteristic that comes from the Chihuahua side. They think that, I don't know, it's like, why are you running after?
All their voice is too heavy to be a Chihuahua.
Right.
And the skittish nature, scared nature.
Oh my goodness. Chihuahua. But then wants to run after people and bark at them like you're going to really do something. Y'all know Chihuahuas ain't going to do nothing. Like, look, ping, and they're flying off into space somewhere, right? So here's my thing. But it's still a dog. A Jack Russell Terrier is a dog. A Chihuahua is a dog, right?
Yeah.
So both of them coming together, even though they make mixed quote unquote children, they're still dogs.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I, as a black woman, if I wasn't married to Gregory Dale, okay, let's go on and put that in there, and I ended up marrying a white gentleman, then what is the actual issue? If Gregory Dale, being a black man, marries a white woman or any other ethnic woman, then what would actually be the problem? Because we're both human beings. Now, if I was going out with a horse, of course. If I was going out with a horse, if I was trying to hit it off with a duck, that would have been a problem there. If there was a pig that I was like feeling a little bit, amour for, then there's where the issue comes in. But we're all human beings.
Yeah.
And so we have to get to a place where we can come away and realize that God made every single person in his image and in his likeness, so that we are not going to sit back and look at somebody crazy because they have someone that doesn't look like the rest of the family with them. What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever dealt with this? Have you all ever seen people just get railing mad and upset because somebody is with someone that they don't feel like they should be with? Like, what kind of mess is that? Where do we get this stuff from? Where does this mindset, where does this thinking come from? And here's another thing. Our children, man, listen. Our children, first of all, if they come home with somebody that's our ethnic group, I'm surprised. I have been for a very long time. I really believe that every one of my children would end up being with someone of a different ethnic group, period. Because that's just the way it is. I don't believe interracial relationships. Why not, LaCarrie Bates? Why don't you believe in it? What exactly is the issue or the problem? How do you see it? I mean, tell us what you mean when you say that you don't believe in interracial relationships. All right. Let's see. She said, amen. Amen, sister. So let me say some of this. Allison Skinner is a psychology researcher for Northwestern University. And they did a study. And she said, we recruited approximately 1,200 white people, over 250 Black people, and over 250 multiracial people to report on their attitudes. We found that overall, white and Black participants from across the United States showed statistically significant biases interracial couples on both the implicit measure and the explicit measure. In contrast, participants who identified as multiracial showed no evidence of bias against interracial couples on either measure. So we have an individual here, LaCarrie Bates, says, I don't believe interracial relationships. Okay. So because ain't nothing more beautiful than a Black woman. If you go out of your race to find love, you are confused who you are. Okay, I got you. And so what you're thinking is it kind of correlates to what the study, the research study has shown, that most people, for one reason or another, feel like Black people and white people, or whatever the ethnic group is, should not date and or marry outside of their race. Okay, and I get it. I don't agree with that, but I get it. Hey, Nurtured by Natasha, how are you, darling? Because here's the thing. We have we say it in church all the time. You can be Black, white, pink, red, polka dotted, or plaid, but God died. Our God sent Christ, his son, to die for everybody, as long as your blood is red. Okay? As long as your blood is red, then he died for you. So if he died for you because your blood is red, then you are a human being. Then you are a child of God. And so why would one child of God stay on, the over the track, I guess, and the other side of God, of a different ethnic group, they would live in a gated community? That's not how heaven is going to be like. So how can we say that we can put a color tab on love? Okay, because even within our ethnic group, in the Black community, I'm just going to tell the truth and shame the devil. If you all are in here and you know this to be the truth, you let me know. If from your experiences, light-skinned Black people and dark-skinned Black people, sometimes they show animosity towards each other. Yeah. I'm just going to put that out there.
And people who are in the middle, brown skin,
okay, come on,
people will show a preference for one or the other. Right? Yeah. Teams. If you're choosing teams, and I heard someone talk about this recently. Someone choosing teams, who's going to play on their team, and who they choose. Are they more apt to choose the lighter skinned Black people?
Okay.
Or the darker skinned Black people?
Okay. Huh.
Would they choose someone from in the middle, even though they themselves are in the middle?
Okay.
Who's going to be the team captain?
Okay.
How is that person chosen?
Okay.
Skin color is very often a factor.
Yeah.
Even among people of color.
Come on.
We still have an issue
with color.
And listen, when we talk about this, these biases are formed early. We communicate them to children so easily.
Yes.
Parents will say things by, oh, look how black she is.
Yeah.
And look how her light skin, she's so yellow.
Yep.
She thinks she's something.
You're right.
You communicate these biases to your children who are living in a world where they have a white friend. And if they have these attitudes and they go to school and begin to, I can't play with you anymore because then we begin to treat people just like many have treated us.
Yes. And we become colorist almost. Yeah. And listen, Deirdre says shots fired.
Right across the bow.
Listen, let me tell you something. When I was coming up in school, they called me everything but a child of God. Mm-hmm. You were chocolate, black. You were tar baby. You were Africa. I'm like, what's wrong with Africa? We all came from there. I mean, the middle of civilization, the cradle of civilization is in Africa. Mm-hmm. I mean, Egypt is in Africa. Mm-hmm. People don't realize that these places, even where Christ came from, was right there in Africa. Mm-hmm. And so that is where we just ended up with different shades because of the disbursement. The further away from the equator you got, the lighter you were, the closer in, the darker that you were. Mm-hmm. And so how is it that we can look at people and say, oh, okay, because you're not the same color as me, or you're a lighter color. And it's just like when I was teaching my kids we homeschool. And I remember we were learning about India and how the Indian people, how they have something called a caste system.
Yes.
Where people that are the caste, depending on where you fell on the caste system, you were either poor or you were rich or you were middle class, and they didn't mix. You couldn't marry. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, I had a boyfriend. I'm sorry, honey. I know I don't know why in the world I was with anybody before you. I don't know what in the world I was going through. But I had a boyfriend that was an East Indian that lived in West India, in the West Indies. And you know what? Even though we were together, we thought we was just the best things in sliced bread. He let me know ahead of time that we could never be married. And I was like, huh? What you talking about?
Wow.
Why we can't be married? Because my country, our family, our ancestors, our parents, they will not allow us to marry outside of the Indian culture. And I'm like,
caste systems and listen, racial attitudes, they're formed so early in our children.
True.
Look, Carrie, thank you for sharing. And
okay.
And I don't want to come across like I'm attacking you for the way that you feel. LaCarrie says, I do not like the light-skinned female because they try to be more white. Just give me a dark-skinned woman. Well, the problem is, and we, and I think we react this way sometimes because of negative stereotypes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Red bones and high yellow. And they tend to be uppity, and that's a negative stereotype. Have you ever met someone who had bright skin, high yellow or red bone, who was not uppity?
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
I have.
So
definitely.
They're not all like that.
Yeah. And
now,
I think
I understand a person's experience has been, but there has to be somebody you've met,
right,
who was not like that. Maybe a family member.
Amen. Amen. Nurture by Natasha said the high yellow they always think is better. I love my chocolate skin. Girl, yes, me too.
They think it's better.
But,
is that okay?
But listen, here's the thing though, even about that. When I was coming up, there were times when I felt like, man, I wish I was lighter skinned. Because let me tell you, in the school that I went to in Virginia, at Mount Vernon Elementary School. If you the PS 92 was when I was in Brooklyn, but in Mount Vernon Elementary School and in George Washington Junior High School, the lighter skin you were, the easier time you had it, and that was period. I remember some of the light skinned chicks. You could listen, okay, and I don't mean anything by this, but just listen to what I'm saying. You could be on your 600-pound life and be light skinned, and the guys would still come after you. But if you were a 600-pound life and you were my color, oh, you can forget it. You ain't going to prom. You ain't going to the dance. If you going with a family member because ain't nobody in the school going to want to go with you. And so we come up with some of these attributes, some of these thought processes. And then when we see stuff like roots and, when we find out that, back in the day, and I think some of this was stuff that was put in the psyche of the Black people because of the fact that they put the lighter skinned, the red bones, the yellow bones, they got to work in the house. They got to be in there with misses, and they got to be in there with the children, and so they became more, and that's why when we get the term house Negroes. Okay, you think you better than everybody else because you a house Negro. Okay, well let me tell you something. I've been working in the field,
and the deal is that this person, because of lighter skin, he made them feel more comfortable.
Yes, true.
This is a proven fact. Yeah. That and when I look back, my first grade class, what made one young man class president, what was different from him than all the rest of us? His skin was
because some people
was very fair, light skinned.
Some people feel less threatened.
And this wasn't a voting. Wasn't a voting. He was handpicked. You're the president of the class.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. So, okay.
And when you're the president, you have to ask everybody else what to do.
Oh, Lord. See, that ain't right. Okay, LaCarrie says, yes, I was trying to give every light skin a chance, but it never worked between us because we had different views. They try acting white instead of being themselves as a Black woman. I got you. I hear you. Amen. Thank you so much for your opinion. That's amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us. People have different opinions, and we just want to know what's going on here. Where did this whole issue with the jungle fever, where did the issue of interracial dating, where did it originate? When two people get married, like someone is about to say, hold on, Josh says pretty much anywhere whites have been or colonized, racism and or colorism is a problem. You're right about it. You're right about it. I've seen that firsthand. Let's see, even in my country, in my country, in Trinidad and Tobago, where I was born and raised, the East Indians that were migrated to West Indies, they are prejudiced against us. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute.
It's still.
Still
that
you
way.
Saw it.
Yeah.
We went, if you all remember, we went on a trip to minister in Trinidad and Tobago last February. And while we were on the plane, there was this family, and they acted like they owned the entire plane. The children were, and we've seen this over and over. Children were unruly, talked back. The grandmother was with them. They always have an older person with them, and that person has to take care of everything with the children and the grandchildren. And it just seemed like they wanted to be first at everything. It wasn't like a you know how you'd be like, well, I was in line first. No, these people acted like whether it was the bathroom, they should have been able to get in there first or use a separate one. They acted like their child making noise on the plane was just perfectly okay. They could run around with the seatbelt off and all of that. And when we were about to get off the plane, they still was acting funky. My husband saw it. He's not from my country. it wasn't the first time you were there, but the first time that you encountered that. And it's amazing that people are still that way today. Incredible. All right. So Mary says, just because you fall in love with someone who looks different doesn't mean you don't respect or like someone who looks like you. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be with a black man who had an issue with black women. Okay. Because if we marry, our daughters, come on, will be black girls and black women. Yeah. Come through here. See, now.
And that's my big concern. Yeah. Is that when we have children, how do we begin to bridge? How do we begin to teach them? Because the world that we live in is changing.
It really is.
The world is becoming more brown.
Yes, God.
Before our eyes.
Yes.
I mean, who would ever thought that we would see what we see now?
Yeah.
But it's becoming more brown. So how do we begin to deal with this? What happens if we continue to permit racism, sexism, these kinds of things to exist? Eventually, the pendulum will swing the other way.
Right.
We're going to get old. And the very people that we are endorsing, we're allowing them to treat people differently because of their age, their gender, their sex. Their age, their gender,
yes,
and their color,
right?
Then eventually it's going to change.
Yeah, true. Because everything always swings. You just said I would have tripped the kid and I.
And I can tell you now that if you are lighter skinned right now and you're young, you're going to get older.
Yeah,
and you're not going to be so light anymore. What you have is going to get wrinkled.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Some stuff is going to sag.
True.
Some things are going to change. So you have to get to the attitude that I may be up today,
but I might be down tomorrow.
You know?
Okay. So let's see. Lakara says, everyone coming to America to get married because some race not allowed to marry outside their race. This is true. So if you can't go to your own country to get married, why come to America to get married? Well, hello?
Got them big stores, shopping centers,
the big BX.
Big BX.
That's right. That's what we're veterans, and so. But it was the truth. It seemed like anyway. I'm not saying that they didn't love the person that they married, but it seems like. For the most part, what we were seeing was what I was seeing. Let me say that because we weren't in the same circles all the time. But what I would see is that white men would go overseas, and they were mostly in the Philippines. It was almost like the women they're more subservient, they're less opinionated, all of those things. But they only like that until they get here. No, they learn that the way that they grew up, there's a different way to do things, and so they get here. But I've noticed that the black men, they would go Germany, different places like that, and I don't know what it was about. But again, how do you decide I'm going to love this person or I'm not going to love that person because that they are not the right color? Because it's really, listen, y'all, as relationship counselors, as people that deal with marriages, breaking up, second marriages, talking about people dating and who should we date and all of those things, relationships are hard.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, I didn't do it right.
Period.
Period.
With a T on the end.
With a T on the end.
Yeah. Without
any issues. Right.
If you can be the same color.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Like from the same neighborhood. Like the same things.
Right.
But it's still going to be a challenge.
Exactly.
Right.
Amen. Now I'm talking about the Arabs or the foreigners. Okay, look at me. You are a mess. I love it.
But can I drop this though? A lot of times people perceive that they're going to be treated better in America.
True.
Yeah. Despite all of the nasty stuff, despite all the negatives, America still has a lot to offer.
Yes. This is very
and a person would rather live here
than anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yep. We call it the melting pot because we have people of all different groups, all different ethnic, cultural backgrounds. We come together and we're able to hang out with each other, and it's not no big to do. Let's see. Josh says, but then you get older and found out how much that chocolate was really love. Come on. Yes, because those are the ones that Master and them were going in on. Okay, let's see. I would have tripped the kid in the aisle. You're so silly. I love it. All right, so you were saying something that I think is very important for us to make note of, that the world is getting more brown. Okay, because our kids, they don't have some of the same hang-ups as people in our generation. What is it? I don't even know what we are. What are you all supposed to be called again?
Baby boomers.
Baby boomers and the Gen X or Gen Z, whoever it is.
You are, aren't you? I'm just asking. I think you are.
Yes, I am. Yeah. And so here's the thing: the world is becoming more brown. And I was reading in 2015. Thank you, Deirdre, for helping me with research. In 2015, 14% of all babies nationwide were mixed race. 14%.
Wow.
Hello? Did you realize that in the United States that 14% of the United States is Black? Only 14%. And so now, if 14% of all the babies born nationwide were mixed race or mixed ethnicity, nearly triple the rate from 1980. And in Hawaii, the rate is 44%. Y'all.
So, do you see what's happening?
Okay.
Even though it's a smaller percentage, well, a little bit of chocolate gets in the milk. Forget about that 1/8 rule. It's chocolate. now we're laughing about that. But listen, the world is changing.
Yeah, it really
is. We have to make some changes. We have to adapt.
Yes.
Many of the stereotypes they're based on unreasonable fears.
True.
Prejudices are based on unreasonable fears about these people, this class of people. And so we have to start dealing with some of that.
Very true.
Very important. Fearful. We're fearful of people. Oh, well, they're going to want our women. They want our jobs. They're going to want to live in the suburbs where we live. We can't go anywhere to get away from them.
Okay.
We'll go to hell. Ooh, all right.
Okay.
Jack, what is look here?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yo.
Hey Terry, what's up, brother?
Terry. Oh my God.
Only 14%.
We're talking jungle fever tonight.
But all of this brown
is just infiltrating the system.
The chocolate over here is making this.
Making
the milk cloudy. I'm just saying.
It's making Karens. It's making Kikis out of Karens. Oh my goodness, Terry. Love you, fam. Thank you for joining us tonight. Terry. So listen, guys, we're talking jungle fever this week, and we are going to be interviewing an interracial couple because there are some things that we're not going to be able to just tell you. Yeah. So we're going to be able to talk to them, ask them some questions, because I feel like if we are able to go across the aisles, if we're able to shake hands with somebody that doesn't look like us, maybe we'll realize that we have more in common than we have as far as differences. And that's one of the questions that we're going to be asking Terry is if indeed there are some differences or similarities, what are they? What have you found to be the same? What have you found that the stereotypes have said that you may have found out is true or not? Mm-hmm. Because even in our sexuality, when we're talking about relationships, you know, some people say stuff like, if you go black, you can't go back. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you get
white,
your credit gets right.
You can't get right, or your credit
I don't
right.
know.
Now,
look, Harris says people don't get married for the right reasons anymore. It's just people rush to get married and don't really know if they really love each other. Come on now.
That's really good.
That's the part that we have to deal with.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's critical because for the most part, when we're younger and we're looking for somebody, are we looking for somebody really to marry?
Right.
Or do we just want to kind of hook up for a time?
Come on, tell them.
Are we really looking seriously
for someone
for
a life partner?
And are the person that we're looking at, are they serious? And I would suggest to you that many are not. And so it may take some time to really find the right person.
Right.
And it can't be based upon their skin color. Keep in mind, there's some things that are going to change.
Absolutely.
Michael Jackson changed before our eyes. No, that was a different reason.
My God, I cannot with you. Deirdre says only 14%, but some lighter complected people think we taking over. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so here's the thing, the earth is becoming more brown and we can't get away from it. Our children and our grandchildren, LaPortia, they don't care what a person is on the outside as far as racially. They are concerned more about what's your heart like, who do I know if I can count on you? Mm-hmm. Are you reliable? Do you have integrity? All of those things. And if we continue to look at people just because they have white or light or bright or red or yellow or pink polka dotted or plaid coloring, are we missing out on some things? Some people are saying there are no good men, and you ladies that keep saying that, please stop saying that. The Bible says that death and life is in the power of the tongue, and every time you speak that word, what you're doing is you're telling the universe, I don't want a man because that man ain't gonna be no good, because every black man that I've ever been with. Well, why are you only looking in this one pool when there are humans all over the planet?
Come on.
Okay. If there's only 14% of blacks in America and half of that, so you can say 7% is women, right? 7% is men, but you've got, what is that? 76% of everybody else is just out here 60. and they're not in the pool? Yeah. Wait, why can't they get in the pool? Why we can't all be in the pool? What's up with the pool? I'm just trying to ask a question, because for me, if Gregory Dale was not available when he became available, I would have probably been married to Matthew McConaughey. It was either him, he was my second choice. My first choice was the guy, the Allstate guy. You know, what is his name? I don't even remember his name. But you all know who I'm talking about. You're in good hands with Allstate. You know that raspiness in the voice, the tall, the strong. But I got the better deal. Thank the Lord. Hello. But here's the thing. If indeed Gregory Dale was not available, then I would have absolutely no problem at all whatsoever. I have a friend, actually not a friend, more of a former church mate. And I remember he's kind of Hispanic, so he's brown. And he would say stuff like, he's not gonna marry no black woman because black women they too headstrong. Black women, they this, black women, they that. And this dude ended up marrying the blackest white woman that you would ever have met in your life. She will tell you off. She will tell you what to do. She will tell you how you gonna do it. But it wasn't that she was white. That was her personality. And so you ended up with someone that it could have been a black woman, because really we all hung out together. And sometimes she was like, we didn't even really notice that she wasn't black. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So let's see. Terry said, Lord, I can't wait till Thursday.
We're going to lose our IG audience.
Yes,
we
guys.
appreciate you all joining us today. Look, if you're new, follow us here on IG. We're glad to have you. We're here with Tuesday through Thursday between 9 and 9:30-ish Central Standard Time. Join us tomorrow. Yes. We're going to continue this.
Let me tell them what Terry said.
Yes.
She said the lady's saying they're no good men because they go look in the wrong direction. Every black man is different. The women saying they can't find a real man because they ain't found themselves. Ooh, girl! Or sir, I'm thinking you got to be a woman. That's got to be a woman. Can't be nobody else. So listen, if we lose you guys, we'll try to come back in. But sometimes, Instagram does its own thing. So we'll try, but we'll be back tomorrow night. So come on, follow us here and meet us tomorrow night if we can't get back in, okay? All right.
We always tell you that to mate right,
you got to date right.
You got to date
You're
right.
a man. What? Come through here now, LaCarrie. Listen, follow us here. We want to hear more from you. Terry says it's going to be a little Pornhubish on Thursday. Pornhubish on Thursday. Okay, we're going to interview him so you know it gets real.
Straight.
Hey, we don't sugarcoat stuff because it is what it is. Hey there, Miss Groovy 111. Thank you for joining us tonight.
There.
Appreciate you.
What's up?
She said, "Leave MJ alone." We was just saying. That's all. All over the. He said, "All over the planet, cream in the coffee." I love it. Okay, I love it. So listen. Oh my God, that is hilarious. He said all over the planet, we're getting a lot of cream in the coffee. Yeah. I'm not even mad. It's like, why would you be mad?
Yeah.
Because someone found somebody that they loved. I don't get it. Why are we so player hate-ish on people? Because you didn't want them.
Go over and say hello. Welcome them to the planet.
Welcome them to the planet.
To the neighborhood.
He said, welcome them to the planet. You're so silly. All right. Dennis Haber, thank you. Listen.
Yeah.
Dennis, thank you. Thank you, Job. The Allstate guy. Yes, Terry, the Allstate guy. Matthew McConaughey, brother doesn't wear deodorant. Listen.
No.
Listen. Those are things that are fixable. Okay? Those are fixable things. All they got to do, all you got to do is get you some good hair, good body.
You in the water. Yep. Come on here.
Okay.
Good
get
hair,
you some good hair, good body. Some of that good old underarm balm that we've been talking about, and you'll be good to go. I wouldn't even be mad. All right. Let's see.
Not too loud.
Terry said, I married the blackest white woman in history.
Oh man, we love her,
so
man.
You all see what we're talking about here? Personality has nothing to do with white or black or pink or yellow, polka dot, plaid. I don't remember all. Y'all know what we're talking about. All right.
But what you need to understand, and I'm sure that you're going to hear this, is that every relationship is going to take some work. Yeah. Some may require a little bit more.
Yes.
Some may require that you move away from her family.
Well.
Some may require that you move away from his family.
All right.
And the twain shall never meet.
The twain shall meet. Exactly.
But if you're like most people, you're going to have some challenges in terms of cultural differences. But those are easy. If you love each other, it should be easy to get through those.
Yeah. And when we say easy, we're not saying that there's no level of difficulty in the relationship, because we have to make compromises all the time when you're talking about a relationship. But if you want it to work, you're going to have to work it. We ask the question, do you want to be right or do you want to be married? Which is it? All right. Terry said, looking for nub in all the wrong places. Get out with you.
That's some good comments.
Hey, love. Hey, Juice, love you, man. Thanks for coming in and joining us tonight. He said that's like A1 on my steak sauce. Okay. Hello, they say by 2050, everyone will have some swirl in it.
Now, that's a really good observation. And that's a good
that's 30 years
thing to notice. In the last 10 years, I have seen, and I don't have a huge family, but among my nieces and nephews,
all right,
the Hispanic group has mushroomed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And listen.
And I have more Hispanic nieces and nephews now.
Take, as a people group, y'all can correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, but we take you as long as you have a drop in you. You black. Period. Period. If you have a drop, we will receive you.
Yeah.
We will bring you into the family. We will think nothing of it.
Now, if you're trying to pass, it's not going to be easy, because we're going to be loving on you. It just may rub off. So you may as well forget. Just be, you one of us.
Amen. So look, Terry said, wipe them pits while he sleep. Thank you.
Light-skinned brothers and sisters.
Yep. They'll be all right. It will be all right. Terry said there will be definitely a bomb under his armpits. You're so silly. I love it. I'm from the hood. I'm from the good, but I have.
Wow.
I think that's
from the hood.
I think there's got to be hood. I'm from the hood, but I have seen some white women who are way more ghetto than I am. Okay. Terry said, "Facts, Pastor G. I moved 3,000 miles away from my family. You got to do it. Yep, that's what Abraham had to do.
For your family to survive. Yep. If people are not as accepting, and you have to learn to love the person that you're in love with,
that's
you
right.
have to value them. You have to protect them sometimes.
Put some respect on them. Amen. Oh, Michelle, you didn't tell us how your trip went. My trip was amazing. I said what my trip. Didn't you all watch my Periscope lives? Man, we had a blast. Let's see. Terry said, I got jungle fever. We got jungle fever. We're in love. Amen.
Come on.
And we don't see anything wrong with it. Now, there are some people that do. And when we talk on Thursday, those are some of the things that we want to talk to you guys about. Let's see. Miss Groovy One says, and some get disowned for the same drop of black. And you are right about that. You are so right. So, guys, we are talking tonight, jungle fever. We're talking about interracial marriages and relationships. Where are we on the spectrum? What can we look for? Where are we go? Where's this thing really headed? So when we come back tomorrow night, we want to talk some more about this. I want to give you some dates, man, because I'm telling you what, when we're talking about how long it's been since, do you realize that you could have gone to jail at some point if you tried to marry someone that was of a different race in these United States? And it wasn't that long ago. What?
Absolutely.
It wasn't that long ago. And so we want to deal with some more of these things when we come on in tomorrow. I don't know, maybe Terry and Melissa are ready to start tomorrow night. Maybe we can have all 2 nights left with them. We'll get with you guys and see, because this is something that we definitely have to begin to look for. When you're dealing with interracial couples and marriages, we know that there's some stigmas attached to this stuff. Back in the day, I mean, look at Emmett Till. They massacred him.
Just claiming he looked at
because he didn't even do anything because some white I don't mean nothing about it, but because some white woman said no evidence, no proof, none of that. 14 years old, he doesn't have the opportunity to grow up to do anything, and so she's walking around, like, oh, I'm sorry, I had lied. What? Okay. And so we still have some of those stigmas attached even today. And so let's deal with some of this stuff. Let's talk about some of this tomorrow night. Yeah, but you gambled your shoes up. I did not stop lying. Terry says that he's with it. Okay. We might be in here tomorrow night. Terry is a bet. Terry. Miss Groovy One says, my niece and nephew are Spanish in looks, but look just like me and my brother recreated. Okay. Getting browner. I found out when I moved to New York City, there was a doc who went to Tougaloo still missing, still passing in Manhattan. Oh my, yes, and there has been that. Those are some real issues that people have dealt with and are still dealing with. Told a lie from the pit of hell. Come on, look at the exonerated when they see us. Yes, I haven't seen that yet, Terry. I saw it on my Netflix or Prime or something. Haven't been able to say. I want to sit down and see it from beginning to end, and y'all know we be just busy. So anyhow, we're going to see you all tomorrow night. We will be here in the atmosphere. We want you to know you may be dealing with some interracial relationship issues. One thing that we do is we do free 15-minute encounter sessions. You might be dealing with something. You may be dealing with this. We don't know. But whatever it is relationally that you're dealing with, you need some outside eyes. You want to be able to get some insight from people that love you, that people are not going to judge you. We want you to go over to bit.ly/MM3LINKS, and there you will be able to go ahead and schedule yourself. Okay, it's free. We're not going to ask you for your credit card or none of that. We just want to be of help. We want to sow that into your life. You are here and you are wanting more information about race, religion, and relationship. We have that product available to you at marriagemakes3.com. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show it to you. There it is. Race, religion, and relationship. It's a 4-video bundle. We believe is going to bless you. It's going to help you all to understand some of the reasons why people act the way that they do. And what does the Bible really say about it? Mm-hmm. Okay, because that's the bottom line. What does the scripture say? And if the scripture says that we're good, then we're good. If the scripture says that it's not supposed to be, then guess what? Then we need to leave that alone. And we're going to talk about some of that even next week when we have our apostle of apologetics, as I call her, Sister Desi. Yeah. She's going to be with us when we talk about the scriptural view of interracial dating and relationship. Cool. Y'all, you better come tomorrow. You better invite somebody. Yeah. You better tell the people that GD, #GD and me are going to be here, and let them know that they can go over on the link, find some of the awesome free downloads that we have available for you all. I believe it's going to bless you, whether you're single, you're married, and everywhere in between. Okay. He said it's going to make me mad. Oh my goodness. I made it. You made what? You made what, Deirdre? You made it to give them the link? What are we talking about here? Oh, if it's free, it's for me. You're so silly. I love it. Lily. Hey, Lily, thank you for joining. So please check out the replay. We're going to leave it up for a time. Want you all to know that we're here for you before and after I do. I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors, veterans of the United States Air Force, your go-to couple for all things relationship. We are dealing with this jungle fever phenomena. Come on in tomorrow night as we talk some more about this. And if we're able to, we're going to get Terry and Melissa to come alongside us, and let's deal with some of these issues, because we are in a right place right now, I believe, for all of these conversations to be going on.
Absolutely. And if we let the moment pass without really dealing with it, some people are very anxious. Oh, can we stop talking about this already?
Yeah, okay.
And your discomfort is really an opportunity for growth. But if you just want to skim over it and hope that it's gone, it's going to pop back up again in the next 6 months.
Going to bite you in the butt.
Yeah. And it'll be a lot worse then. So
and it's better
let's deal with these issues.
Yeah, it's better to know ahead of time than to figure out what you feel like afterward.
Absolutely.
Because some of us, we're so, we're super, I don't have a problem with prejudice, because prejudice simply means that I prefer one thing or another. But we've got some folks that's gone past prejudice. Yeah. All right. So let's, and just outlandish. So we'll be back tomorrow night. We pray that you all will come and be with us. If you, it is not going away, Lily. You're absolutely correct. We were saying that the world is getting more and more brown. So tomorrow night when we come back, we're going to deal with some more of this. And hopefully we'll get with Terry and Melissa and see if tomorrow and Thursday are good for them. And we're going to have some conversation. We're going to invite you all to come, be a part. Make sure you're following us here on all the platforms. YouTube, follow us and share it. Make sure that other people come on in and be a part of this conversation. Again, I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We're spiritual relationship counselors. We're veterans of the United States Air Force and your go-to couple for all things relationship. Find us at the link bit.ly/MM3LINKS. All right.
Thanks for joining
us, we love you guys. We appreciate y'all, and we'll see you tomorrow, right?
Yes.